trunk's fine. As you can see, friend, it's not small. It's a big trunk. I'll show you right here.
Whoa, you got a dead hooker in the trunk.
What? No, it can't be.
Yes, it was. It was a dead hooker.
It wasn't a dead hooker!
Pal, I know a dead hooker when I see one. I've never seen so many dead hookers in all my life.
Lord knows I have.
This is Tony from Deserts of Mars. You're listening to the Doom Tomb, home of the awesome and the heavy and the doom.
This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things within the heavy underground. And we are sponsored by the following. Red Sky Guitar Repair. If you're in Arizona and you need some guitar work, hit them up. The link is in the show notes. And also Hardcore Grooming Products. They have a beard oil called Sammy Satan. Very limited supply. And it is made with this blend of oil called OUD? O-U-D? What is OUD? Known as the wood of the gods, OUD, I'm going to call it that, it's a lot simpler, is the basis for some of the world's most extravagant perfumes. Derived by the resinous bark of an agarwood tree that grows exclusively in parts of Southeast Asia, it is also known as one of the world's most rarest and expensive commodities. You're going to want to get that, and we've got a discount for you. It's Drop B, all in capital. The links are in the show notes. And now, let's get on to the interview. Today on the podcast, we're not going too far. It's kind of like a long day trip, about 10 and a half, 11 hours away. Going over to Texas, we cover so much. We cover the new release, of course. We talk a little bit about the area, and we even talk about a delicious beverage of choice. Let's hear the interview right now. Today on the podcast, we're going over to Amarillo, Texas. Now, the first chance that I got to hear this band, within the first few minutes, I was hooked. Now, the one part that I wasn't quite sure about, and I'm hoping I have it right, which is the actual pronunciation of the band. Now, I'm hoping I get this right. I hope it is Saturniidae or Saturniidae. Either way, I'm from one of the members from this band. Sir, can you tell me who you are and how do you pronounce it?
I'm actually the sole member of this project. It's a solo project.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. My name is Trent, and it should say on the Bandcamp and the Instagram, pretty much anywhere, it's pronounced Saturn Deity, but you drop the D, so it's Saturniidae. It is the name of a family of moths that includes like the Luna moth, the Atlas moth, all those kinds of moths.
Interesting. Now, oh, you see my dog in the background there. So what like a moth to a flame, what attracted you to the moths?
Honestly, I think a lot of the moths in that family are very pretty. And right. I was like, I just think it's a cool band name. And there's also a hint of irony to it because I got a phobia of moths. They freak me out. I don't know what, but they're still cool. Like I've tried to exposure therapy myself and it doesn't help except that I just think they're cool now. So it's weird.
But I can understand what you're saying because they're a bit erratic, right? Yeah. Much like, have you ever been out and you hear the gigantic sound of the cicadas? And I'm like, have you ever seen one of those things? Yeah. Oh, but we what we really have to talk about is this album. The album is called Book of Rituals. And, you said you're from Amarillo, Texas. I was just curious because for years I always said Amarillo. And now I'm looking at it. I was like, is that just Amarillo? Like, am I pronouncing it wrong all this time?
It's named after the Spanish word for yellow because the grass, the natural like grass and stuff tends to have this really just somewhat pretty yellow color. And so the proper word is pronounced Amarillo, but everyone here just says Amarillo. So
Got you, man.
Yeah.
Now, for your bio here, I have, it says some stoner fucking doom from hell.
Stoner fucking doom from hell.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's located kind of near the Texas Panhandle. So what kind of hell do we have going on over there?
Too cold in the winters, too hot in the summers, and what are some other things?
Sometimes, when you're visiting a town, there's certain things to check out, and maybe that's your own personal form of hell. I don't know. I like geeky shit, and I like going to stuff that maybe other people might kind of stroll right by. Like, have you ever been to the Cadillac Ranch?
The Cadillac Ranch, I have, but it was years ago when I was like way younger. I don't remember if I ever spray painted anything on there, because part of that whole deal is if you're there, you are free to spray paint anything you want there. It's completely legal. That's part of the art project.
I saw that. And I mean, I would have to guess that especially people in that area, there must be thousands of bands that have used that area as a cover photo.
There probably has. I can't remember. It was one of the like top 40 artists who's like, I think Rihanna came by and stopped at Cadillac Ranch and spray painted something there too. But it's pretty recent, but I just don't remember because I wasn't paying attention.
That's fair enough, sir. Fair enough. Have you ever been to the RV Museum?
The RV Museum, I have not.
I don't know if we're actually missing a whole lot there. I mean, what are we going to see? Some Airstreams? Couple Winnebagos? I don't know.
It'd probably be probably more of a historical thing than it is like an art museum has modern art that's being made now, but I think like an RV museum like that probably is historical stuff. There's one art project around town that happened before I was even born in the 90s. It was called Dynamite Museum. And what it is it pretty much puts up a whole bunch some of the punks in the area were hired by this weird rich dude who I don't know the name of to put up street signs that just have weird like things on them. I remember one when I was going to elementary school, we'd always pass by this sign that said, "Don't look at me like that." On my way to college, there's a few of them. And one time on my way to one of my jobs, there was a car wreck beneath an underpass, beneath an overpass, my bad. And so I have to detour. I turn right, and there's one of those signs that immediately says, "Even in the best run universe, accidents still happen." And I was like, oh my God.
Wow. And let's see. So the last one is the Richard Daniel Baker Peace Park.
I've driven by it, but I've never stopped at it. I've driven by it when I was going with my country rock band. I play bass in a country rock band. You know that?
I did not know. Talk to me about this. What kind of country are you playing?
It's I say country rock because it's easy to it's easier to tell people about.
Right.
But more specifically, we're in a scene that's called Texas Red Dirt Rock, which is pretty much country rock.
Right.
And because we have a little bit more rock leaning, because everyone in the band has rock influences. We got a new drummer. He's influenced by all that like 90s grunge. Our singer is influenced by 2000s rock. He was in those kinds of bands. And me and the guitarist are metalheads 100%. And I play in that band because it's because I just play in the band. It's fun, honestly.
Absolutely. So if you were to liken it to some more of the popular country, like what are we talking? Are we talking maybe something like a Brantley Gilbert, something like a Colt Ford? Where are we at?
I could only say artists within this scene because I don't listen to nearly enough country to be in a country rock band. But it's some of the popular bands in this scene right now would be like Coetzel, Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Some other Them Dirty Roses. We opened up for them in Abilene a few months back.
Hell yeah, man.
Them Dirty Roses kind of sounds like Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
With, like some modern twist influences. So
yeah, you got like some Southern fried rock.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. So my my band is called the Stray Sons, and it was originally supposed to be like a Christian rock band name, but we just play what we play now.
And that seems like a far departure from this album that we have. It's called Book of Rituals. Now, sir,
Book of Rituals.
Do you mind? Can we start talking about it?
I would love to talk about it. I'm very conceited about
please.
my music.
I mean, you're not going to have any arguments from anyone else in the band.
That's a good point.
Yeah, let's kick it off with the first track. The first track is called Majesty, and indeed, apt title. I got some droning feedback with a narration, and kind of feeling like this song, and it's good that it's an opener, it feels like it's creating the gateway to the mind in some quick way. Now, the track opens up at about the 2:40 mark, and it's possible that the sacred herb might start to summon demons.
Physically messed up, and mentally paranoid, all the demons that were just the war that was around the guys.
So first, what can you tell me about this track? And second, do you consider yourself a sorcerer?
So this song was the longest song to come together of the entire album. I had the lyrics written long before I had the instrumental that made it onto the album written, because the lyrics were supposed to go to a different instrumental. And it was that original instrumental where I actually first had the idea to take those samples off of YouTube of people talking about weed and demons. And then I ended up writing this other sludge instrumental. And I was like, I like these lyrics and I like this instrumental. I'm just going to put them on there and just jump everything that I wanted to do with those samples over to this other instrumental. When I was listening to it and I just heard smoking marijuana is sorcery, I was like, what? Because that's so awesome. Like, that doesn't make it sound like a bad thing. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And so I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm a sorcerer. I source my riffs from the weed. You know?
I love it. I fucking love it. And you know what? It makes me wonder, like, when somebody had smoked that much and, you know, you get a little anxious, you get a little crazy. I don't know if that's so much him summoning anything. It's more like what's already inside of you, brother. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if I believe in, like, spirits or anything, but, like, I think everything, no matter how weird it is, has a mundane explanation, and some people will read too deep into things when the simplest explanation is, oh, you just had a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, quick question as a side. So I have been seeing this for the past few days, and I'm still betwixt and between, because at one part I'm like, yeah, there's something else out there. I know there's got to be, man. We can't be so selfish and believe that there's nothing else. And then, I don't know if you saw the news this week that there was a craft or something that fell in Las Vegas, and there was a being that people have, like, they saw it with their own eyes. And, you know, sometimes you hear it and you're like, yeah, okay, with the abductions or whatever. I don't know if I'm buying it. But this seemed like so close to, like, something actually being real. I don't know if you heard about it, but
I did not.
Oh, that's something you've got to look up. That's something else we got to talk about off mic, because I don't know. It just, you know how you could see people and you're like, yeah, maybe you had a little something going on in your head, and maybe it wasn't like really an alien, but it was just like, yeah, it was in my backyard and I saw it walking around. Really creepy. And maybe, just maybe, that alien knew about a cult. And that cult is the Cult of Abyss. And killer track, by the way. And I'm curious, can the priestess save us? And what can you tell me about this track?
Lord Satan, he who is known as Belial by the ancients, demon lover of all those who wish to live in your eternal night. Here, in your hour of deepest dark, in your temple and before your altar.
This one came together when I was real pissed off working at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to write a pissed off song and just see what happens. And it ended up turning into this little wind hand, electric wizard type worship song.
Hell yeah.
And I just wrote words, like I said, I write words that I think sound cool. But originally, there wasn't even going to be a third verse. It was just going to be called Into the Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
But the riff I had, I was like, oh, this outro just isn't right for the song. So what the song originally did was after the solo, it just cut off and just went to the outro. And then I was like, I don't like that. So I replaced it with what we get now, which is the rest of the bridge and then the third verse. Any of the like cults or like sages or whatever, that's all just like, it's metaphors for something, but I don't know what. I just, like I said, it means something to me because I keep writing about it, but I don't know.
Maybe you need to take one of those epic journeys through the mind, possibly something chemical, to see what that is. You know, what is the experience? You know, I've talked about it. I think my wife and I have talked about it, about like maybe we should do something like that and see where it goes. Because like I hear, and you know, I see what the videos are on YouTube of what DMT is like, and I know it doesn't last long, and it's supposed to be this open, mind expanding thing. I even had a text from one of my friends that from way back that he always used to, you know, goof on me because of the music that I would listen to. He's like, oh, that's, you know, the dirty stoner crap and all this stuff. This guy has been through more trips and hallucinations, and he said it has literally changed how he has thought about life, and not in like a high way, but like this guy's married and has children, and he has a successful business, and he's an owner of a business, and he is really changing how he is just functioning in normal life. So maybe that's the way to do it, to see actually what are you thinking about that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping sometime this year to try either acid or mushrooms. And for legal reasons, that's a joke.
I don't know what that means. I mean, it's like I take mushrooms.
I'm talking about.
No, let me tell you,
Mario. You know.
No, well, that's
Mario,
what I was. Look, you know, I just met you, so I don't know. But like, I didn't know whether it was Mario. But like, I take mushrooms a couple times a week, and I take a bunch. I take shiitake. I take ashwagandha. I do portobello. I mean, I'm going fucking deep, man. I'm telling you, that's a trip.
The portobello, man. The portobello. You're going to another world.
Well, it's like that guy summoning demons. It's like, if you're gonna go big, go big. And that's what I do. Yeah. That's why. I think that's how I got my nickname, the Portobello Kid. But you know what? Honestly, dude, it's not important because. But I know tripping is important. We talk about taking the trip, taking the journey, and we have another trip coming up. It's the third track. It's called Trip Haze Coma. Now this, yes. First off, this is very different than the first two tracks. This is more this is my psych journey, and it's vastly different. This is the track that I could say, maybe you want to listen, maybe you want to have a portobello. Maybe you want to play Mario Kart. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that would work well. So how did Trip Haze Coma come about, and why the slight contrast between the other songs?
That has to do with the original demo of Cult of Abyss, where what happened was, once the song was, not the original demo, the second version of it, once I had added the third verse, but before it became what it is on the album,
Right.
Once it faded out, I had a little ambient track that was like a minute of just jamming out, sort of improvised stuff. And then I just had that fade in and then fade out. And I wanted to do that again for this album. And so I ripped a drum track off of YouTube and just improvised a bass line and then the guitar line without the wah and then the guitar line with the wah. And then I wrote drums to go with it.
Right.
And I was originally just going to take like whatever I felt was like the best, like 1 or 2 minutes of it and just tail that at the end of Cult of Abyss like I did with the old version. But I kept listening to it and I was like, I don't know what part of this would fit the best there. And eventually I was like, you know what? It's all good. I'm just putting this whole 6-minute interlude on the album.
Right on. And I think it's a great choice because it's, I don't even want to say a palate cleanser because it's not. It's just an other piece of you that you're giving to the masses. And you're like, hey, like, you know, with the country rock, you know, it's like, hey, yeah, I do some country rock. I also do some fucking stoner doom over here. Yeah. And I get trippy with it. So, yeah, you know, strap in. We're going to go for a ride. And like I said, who knows, man, maybe there's something about getting stoned. Not that you would do that, but some other people might. And if we're going to talk about being stoned, yeah, maybe.
Just maybe. I mean, it's all dirty.
Yeah, you know, hey, it's legal in a lot of places. So we're going to go to the next track, speaking of, which is Stoned Judgment Day. That's interesting. I don't know. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, I wonder if it was Stoned Judgment Night, if you would do like, I don't know. Did you ever see the movie?
No. I don't watch a lot of movies, actually. I need to watch movies, but I don't.
I will tell you, I don't know if it's exactly the best movie, but for current rock, like this was back in the 90s, so it was like alternative rock, and they were mixing it with hip-hop. So you'd have something like, I don't know, Booyah Tribe. I think it was like Booyah Tribe and Slayer or something like that. Sick collaborations. I highly suggest you get the Judgment Night soundtrack, or at least, you know, cop one or listen to it on Spotify or YouTube, wherever it's found. But let's talk about Stone Judgment Day, because that's more important to me right now. Keys in this one, and I'm like, all right, nice addition, man, nice. Gives me this kind of Pink Floyd vibe. Syd Barrett era, though. Syd Barrett era. Now, around the 640 something, maybe around 648 or something like that, I hear this yell. For some reason, that yell just kind of encapsulates the entire song for me, and it makes it that much bigger. And I would like to know what's the process for this track, and just about the lyrics. What is your incense of choice?
That was one of those that I have not experimented enough to have a solid answer on that.
Right,
so
fair.
My answer on that is whichever kind you can get from the store.
Okay.
So,
No, that's fine. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna make a suggestion. Nag Champa, NAGCHAMPA.
give me 1 second.
Oh, please, yes, go ahead.
Let me write this down.
Yes, please do.
I like taking suggestions. Oh, come on. How did you spell it, you say?
NAGCHAMPA.
AMPA. Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I usually go.
Reminds me of something cool, which I'll get to later because we got to talk about the song first.
Please do.
But it's an album that came with Incense. I'll talk about it. So, Stoned Judgment Day. That I can't remember how I wrote it, but I know I think it was the most recent. Like, it was other than the interlude, it was the last song finished on the album. And it went through 2 demos, which had, you know, after the second chorus, you have that one riff that goes like 8 times, and then you have the long outro riff. First demo had that first riff, second demo had that outro riff, and I was like, I'll just put them together because I like them both.
Right.
The lyrics are... This song was just supposed to be like just that one song on the album about playing riffs and smoking weed. I mean, it's not like the other ones aren't about smoking weed, but this one was the song about riffs.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. It's you know, I see this a lot in genres, and it's, you know, where people that, I don't know, 80s or whatever, it was all about rock and roll, rock, and rock till you drop, and whatever, you know, rock and roll hoochie coo even. Yeah, try listening to that. But now we're getting into this, you know, stoner doom category, and it fits perfectly. It's just like, it's an homage. And it just fucking works, man. So you said something that you received an album or something, and it had incense with it?
Yes. One of my, there's this kind of technical, I say kind of technical, but definitely more technical than I can play.
Okay, for the people that are listening, he is looking.
Technical. This vinyl record, Kardashev, The Bearing of Shadows.
Oh, no kidding!
Post death metal, progressive death metal. You see right there, the incense leaked to the cellophane. It's got that.
Oh shit!
But I burned it and listened to the album. It was pretty cool. My record is this nice green color.
Ooh, nice little transparent. Is that opaque or transparent? That looks gorgeous. That looks gorgeous. It's got that little line in it. That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I've played them on the radio before. Yeah, man, they're killer. And it's got that like kind of like almost like post metal vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all listed as progressive death metal. They started as straight up progressive death metal, but they got really atmospheric, I think, around their second album.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I thought of when you sent me that question. I was like, oh, I don't know, but I knew about this one album that came with incense. So
now you know what? It's funny. What was I going to play? Because they just had a new album out, Liminal Right.
Yeah, I need to listen to it again. I listened to it in full, like once or twice. I know I had a saxophone solo at the end, but I suck at listening to new music, so it takes me like years. Shit.
Well, it's a huge album, by the way. 22 tracks, and you know, some are like some interludes and stuff, but man, some absolute insane material. So, excuse me. Before we go on, is there anything else you had to add for Stone Judgment Day, or are we going to move on to the next track?
All the lead guitar at the end was improvised, and there's a part where there's just a whole bunch of feedback, like I'm droning on one note, and it's because I was just freaking out looking for this because I wanted to use a slide in there, and I just couldn't find it.
Okay, all right.
Eventually I just picked up a lighter and just went with it, and that's by the time it's already like fading out, so you can't hardly even hear it, so it wasn't even worth it.
Right.
But it sounds cool. It's in there, but it's
It's odd. It's even odd that you say that, because as I was hearing the end, I felt like I heard something. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I was like, I think he's going for something at the end. And so yeah, I guess that was it, man. So is the slide going to be making an appearance on some future material?
I hope so, because it's a cool thing. I don't know anybody in metal that uses a slide. That's like it's like a country thing, and you know what? I was listening to some of the like I said, I opened up for a band called Dim Dirty Roses, and one of the songs, I wish I could remember which one it was, but one of them was like, oh, this is awesome, I need to cover this in the stoner doom style.
Nice.
So if I can find what song that was, I will definitely be using the slide on that, and I hope to be using the slide on whatever is going to end up being the next album, which I already have enough music for it. I just don't have all the lyrics written.
All right. So that's
right here. Check this out. That's a whole song right there.
Oh my lord! Oh, there's a lot of notes in there. That's very, dude. Like it's very you're very intricate with creating this craft here.
I love music. It's my favorite thing. I just finished my first year of college, and I bet you can't guess what major I am. Music major.
Oh wow! No, I was going with pottery, but yeah, music sounds perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. So we've got this other track here. This is interesting to me. Under the Blood Red Sun. Now, in the lyric, we have a little bit about wormwood, and for those that aren't familiar, yeah, a little absinthe right there. Now, wormwood is a pain reliever, if you don't know. It fights parasites. So listen to that for a second. Now, I'm wondering about you, sir. I'm wondering if this is somewhere in your head, because wormwood it relieves pain and fights parasites. So did you somehow subconsciously do this as a metaphor for life, using this word wormwood? I'm very, very curious about that. So if you could just give me a little bit, talk to me about this track, man, because we got a lot to say about this one. It's probably one of my favorites.
Thank you. I'm really proud of it. It was the first. It's the only one that is. Hold on. How do I word this? It's the song that is closest to its original demo, from the demo to the album. Like, the only difference really is that I added lead guitars at the end. That's really the only difference between the demo and the final.
Gotcha, man.
Maybe subconsciously the wormwood was like a metaphor, but it wasn't deliberate. I just thought, imagine if there was like a society that like drinks absinthe and does drugs and stuff, but it's like a positive thing. Because this was it was also the first song that ended up in its finished form. Like, it was the first demo that I finished out of any of the songs.
Right.
And I wrote that while I was working at one of the warehouses I was working at. Terrible job. I will never do that again. And it was sort of just like one of those, I'm just like, I gotta write something that has, even if it's doom, it's gotta have something underneath it that just keeps me from just hitting rock bottom. And I just ended up with this song that's just super uplifting in a weird way, in my opinion. I think it sounds uplifting.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, it sounds better than working in a warehouse or Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, no, neither of those jobs are fun. But when I was listening to it over and over again, and I thought, if I make an album, this has to go on it, and it has to be the last track on the album. And it is. It's the last track on the album.
And it moves in different ways, because like we said, again, I just got to go back to that. Pain relieving and fighting parasites. But if you talk to biblical scholars, they consider the term wormwood to be a symbolic representation of bitterness. And that bitterness fills the earth during troubled times, noting that the plant that wormwood is named is a metaphor for things that are unpalatably bitter. So I don't know. I still think there's a trip in you somewhere, like a Mario Kart game, and
Maybe.
And all this stuff is gonna start coming out. And since we're talking about wormwood and absinthe, and in the lyric you have this one piece that says the fungal life. So we're adding in addition to absinthe, we're also adding that. What do you think? That's gonna be some magic ride, huh?
Yeah, that's let me pull up the lyrics. I think I wrote them on my phone.
Okay.
Pull these up so I can look at them.
No problem.
Under the blood. So yeah, everything, every lyric in this is something. So wormwood sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That is obviously the reference to wormwood and absinthe. The Under the Blood Red Sun, that is the line that's supposed to be the most doomy, because it reminds me of when I was working at Walmart. I've worked 5 jobs in my life. So when I was working at Walmart, I was a car pusher, so I was outside.
Right.
And when there was all those West Coast fires, The smoke was heavy enough that I probably should have worn a respirator.
Yes.
But the sun would never actually touch the horizon. It would turn red and fade away. And it was like, for some reason, that image is just scarred in my mind. It's just so like, it's like, it looks cool, but fuck, man, you know?
Yeah, it's beautiful yet apocalyptic at the same time.
Yeah.
And
so that's kind of,
that's what the East Coast is going through right now.
It's like that's.
You know,
That
I
shit
gotta tell you,
sucks.
man.
But then it's like,
Who thought that there would be such existentialism from getting carts from Walmart?
or it was during the time that I was working at Walmart that I first got into doom metal.
Right.
So, checks out.
Yeah.
The
I got time.
The first doom metal album that I listened to and that I really like got was No Help for the Mighty Ones by Sub Rosa. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah. That's some good stuff right there, brother.
So I was in my truck. I don't know if I was driving home or if I was driving somewhere else. And I put it on. I started from the first track. I got about 30 seconds in and I stopped it and I said, I'm going to need to listen to this in an altered state. And then I did. Best hour of my life.
That makes perfect
Changed
sense.
my life forever.
All right, so now with this release, I'm interested about merchandise. Will you be having any merchandise for this? Maybe a button, a patch, shirt, and or physical product?
I hope so eventually, but right now, all there is for the band is just this album. I don't even have other members, but I'm working on that because I want to put on some shows.
That was going to be my next question. How many people do you think you need to fully round out this project?
I would only need, if I were to go a bit bare bones on it, I would only need a bass player and a drummer because I'm primarily a guitarist.
Okay.
And obviously, since it's a solo project, I had some dude from England sing for it. No, it was me. But I would like to have a second guitarist because trying to play leads and sing at the same time is difficult.
I got you.
It really is.
I'm with you. That makes sense. All right, brother. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us and spending your time. Now, if you don't mind, I have this kind of, I always, all right, in my head, I think it's going to be a lightning round of questions. Somehow that doesn't work for me. It usually winds up just being an extra 20 minutes of questions because we get off on tangents. So, are you ready for the lightning round, sir?
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, ready. Here we go. What is something that you would never pay the cheaper option for?
I'm broke and unemployed. I live with my dad. I'll take what I can get. But I don't want to buy any of those Behringer clone pedals. They're not bad, but it's just they're not as cool as I'd like. I mean, they're just not. They don't have that cool factor in my personal taste.
Fair enough,
That's
sir.
my taste, though. Yeah.
Hey, everybody has taste, and some is sour, some's bitter, some's sweet. Me personally, I'm a sweet man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sweet boy. Best quote to describe you?
Let me check on this. Vorum ipsum dolor sit emet.
Bless you.
Thanks.
All right, a little translation for me. I haven't brushed up on my Latin very recently.
It's just lorem ipsum. I couldn't think of a quote. I couldn't think of anything, so I just put lorem ipsum there.
All right, and just saying, what possibly were some weed strains of choice, or what was used to create this album?
Most of the time, I don't think about the strain. I just think if you can smoke it and it has THC,
Mm-hmm. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
hold on a second. I haven't seen that shirt yet. Huh.
Which shirt?
If it has THC, then it's for me.
You know what? That's gonna be some Saturniidae merch. I wanted to actually make some merch for it that said stoner fucking doom on the back, and then all those phrases though, like smoking marijuana is sorcery on the back. I wanted to do some stuff like that.
And
But
yeah, you sound like the guy that would be able to do it. What is the worst job you've had?
so I said I've had 5 jobs, and each of them are worst for different reasons.
Okay.
First job, I was a busser. That was the worst job for pay. It was $4.25 an hour plus tip share.
Okay, so you had these
Uh-huh.
shitty jobs and you're done. You're out. And it's at night.
Mhm.
And you just got to clear your head, man. So you're going for a drive. What music is playing?
Anytime you're driving to clear your head, it's never because something good happened. And so if I was angry, it would probably just be like some death metal or like some of that more like crazy frantic black metal, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Uh
So that brings me to my next question: is what is a belief that you have that others think is crazy?
maybe it's that I don't see skill as an indicator of talent.
I like it. That works for me. Okay. Moving forward on this extremely quick
Yeah,
lightning
I don't
round.
I don't see skill as an indicator of. Oh, right. Lightning round.
Yes, lightning. Go. Okay.
Yes.
What?
All right.
Okay. Best spots to play in your area.
I think we have 3 actual metal venues right now.
Okay.
There's more venues, but most of them are like just for country.
Mhm.
And so we have 3 metal venues right now. One of them is the only one with an outdoor stage, and I like the stage, but the venue is not run like a professional venue because they'll never promote shows. Like it's up, like they'll share the poster if the bands make it, but they don't actually promote their own shows, which is like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
we have a local craft brewery that actually they have some collaboration merch with like the deathcore band around here.
Mhm.
So we got a deathcore band around here called Bear the Mark, and bear, not like animal bear, but like
Naked.
a naked bear.
Yeah.
Bear the Mark.
Mhm.
And they have collaboration merch with that craft brewery, and it's pretty cool. I actually played there with my country rock band, and I decided if I play there with this Doom project, I'm gonna stand up on the little bar area.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like way above everybody, and it's gonna be fun. And then we have a new venue in town called Atomic Yellow. I went there last night actually,
Mhm.
and it was pretty good
Mhm.
for the shape of it, because it used to be an office building, and
Right.
so the sound is surprisingly good for it used to have been an office building. That's about it.
All right. And I'm just curious, like, what was the last show you went to?
The one yesterday.
Who was there?
Oh, who was there? I don't remember what the opening band was. Trailing
Okay.
Host. They're like a post-rock band, and then the next band is actually from Lubbock, which is 2 hours south of here. But
Mhm.
they were like, you know what? Y'all in Amarillo treat us better than they do in Lubbock, so fuck it, we're an Amarillo band now. And I'm like, hell yeah, our scene is good. It's called Spit Life. They're hardcore. I hear some like a little bit of grindcore influence, but it's a lot of death metal influence. They're like some of that like just sort of heavier hardcore,
Very
just the
nice.
slow, just bang, headbangs. You know what I mean?
And if you can't see this, and which I'm assuming you can't because this is all audio, he is giving the classic Doom appreciation face. It's mean. It's got a scowl. The forehead is crunched. You know what that is. You've done it at your shows. All right. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Please
yeah.
continue.
Nah, I get it. Because most people don't watch podcasts; they listen to them.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've got some bands, and you told me about some places to play, and maybe there's something connected. I'm curious, and this will be the final in the lightning round, the speedy lightning round here. What are some of the best places to eat for a touring band in your area?
That is a hard question for me to answer because I don't think there's anything here that you couldn't find anywhere else. It's just like I'd definitely say though, since Texas is such a wide just a wide area,
Yes, it
The
is.
Tex-Mex you'll get around the Panhandle or West Texas is going to be different from the Tex-Mex you'd get around like the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'd say like my favorite like Mexican restaurant around here has to be this little place called El Bracero. They're just real solid. I always get their fajitas. They're just
Get at it. There you
awesome.
go. Okay. That's the place to go. All right, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for participating in that massively fast lightning round. The album is Book of Rituals. Please tell everybody where and how they can get it and what is the future for this project.
If you look up the word Saturn, 2 eyes, and then DAE, Saturniidae, you'll probably find it on any store you could look it up, and you'll find the album Book of Rituals. It's got the purple cover with a little inverted pentagram with the weed leaf on it on the album artwork. So if you see that, you know you're in the right place. So it's on Spotify. That's where I'm looking at it right now. It's on the channel 666 Mr. Doom. It's on where else is it? It's on Bandcamp.
That's where I go.
Bandcamp.
That's my place. Yeah.
Should be on Apple Music. Pretty much anywhere you can look for it, you could probably find it.
Right on. And also, I know you're on Instagram. That's where I initially caught you. Brother, thank you so much. And, keep us posted. Let us know what the hell's going on. I want to see what this black metal project is. And I'm curious to see what the next level of this project is going to be. All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, though.
Thank you so much. And much like this gentleman has said, Stoner fucking Doom from Hell, otherwise known as Amarillo, Texas. Book of Rituals is the album. Let's hear the 5th track off the latest release. This is Under the Blood Red Sun.
For midnight is coming soon. A wormwood sacrifice, a dedication to none. It pours out like sweet wine for the anxious ones.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Doom Tomb podcast. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Hardcore Grooming. The promo code is in the show notes. Now, if you're too lazy to do that, it's drop B in all caps. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and follow us on social media. It's Doom Tomb or Doom Tomb Podcast. Ian, my brother from another mother, he is from No Masters Audio. Hit him up on Instagram. Link is in the show notes. He does all things sound for the Doom Tomb. You can listen to music like this and so much more on craniumradio.com. We got a whole bunch of DJs. I'm one of them. It's Sunday night, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each and every Sunday you can listen in for music, and I talk, and it's just whatever comes up, And, oh, by the way, last link. You want to talk about your song? doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. Get on and talk about the song. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon, probably at a show. Until then, next time. Meantime and in between time, support your bands. Get some of that band merch that you like, and you've been sitting on it. Maybe it's in a wish list, like on Bandcamp or something. Yeah, go buy that. And above all, keep it heavy.